This boy looked so normal that people barely noticed him, but no one could have imagined that with just one simple punch, he was about to shake the entire world. But just 2.5 days earlier, he had still been an ordinary apprentice raised by his injured uncle and sick aunt after losing his parents. Even though their life was hard, they still wanted him to become a real dancer, because in this dangerous world, only dancers could earn well and protect their families. One day, he overheard his uncle planning to do extra labor just to gather the 30,000 needed for his dancer exam fee, and that night he could not sleep. Before dawn, he made a decision to enter an underground fight dance arena, where winning 4 straight matches would earn nearly 60,000. Wearing a bull mask, he stepped onto the stage and was mocked by the crowd, but when told to say something fierce, he coldly declared that everyone there looked weak to him. His first opponent rushed in wildly, but he instantly saw the man's weak footing and dropped him with ease. The second fighter was stronger, yet he exposed an opening and was kicked down just as quickly. The third one also fell, giving him 3 straight wins. From the VIP seats, a man in a suit noticed his unusual strength and decided he would be useful for rigged fights, so he secretly ordered someone to recruit him without exposing his real level. In the 4th round, a famous masked fighter called White Fox entered, and the crowd erupted because White Fox was supposed to be a quasi-dancer, making the match unfair already. But once the fight started, the boy immediately realized White Fox was not just a quasi-dancer, he was a real official dancer. White Fox used Thunder Fist and smashed him down in one move, then leaned near him and threatened that if he agreed to throw matches for them, he would still get the 60,000, but if he refused, he would be crippled and never become a dancer. Lying there in pain, the boy suddenly remembered everything his uncle and aunt had sacrificed for him, and with that burning in his heart, he forced himself to stand again. At that moment, his consciousness was dragged into a dark space where a giant golden figure appeared and offered him a chance to grow stronger. Golden chains formed a system screen with a mission telling him to sharpen his skills and defeat White Fox. Then his own clone attacked him, and he realized the clone was using a textbook-perfect version of Vajra Fist. He immediately trained with it, and the clone kept correcting every move and every flaw. After intense practice, not only did his Vajra Fist rise rapidly, but even his other basic skills also advanced. When Vajra Fist finally reached great mastery, the system told him the mission reward was complete and asked if he wanted to return. The moment he came back to reality, White Fox's strike was already in front of him, but now it looked painfully slow. He calmly punched once and shattered White Fox's mask with a single blow. The whole arena froze in disbelief, and only when he demanded his reward did the host finally announce that the bull-masked fighter had won 4 straight matches. The suited man was shaken too, because even many real dancers could not reach great mastery in Vajra Fist, yet this unknown apprentice had done it. Back home, the boy placed 60,000 on the table, shocking his uncle and aunt, then lied that a dance hall owner had noticed his talent and decided to support him. Later, alone on the rooftop, he used all the dance points he had earned to raise his vitality, and when it reached 90, he broke through to the quasi-dancer level. Wanting to test his new power, he sneaked into Xingchen No. 1 High School's open training ground at night and hit the test machine so hard it exploded away, causing such a huge noise that the principal was alarmed, but by then, he had already escaped into the darkness. The next morning, the whole school was gathered as the principal announced that his old friend, Master Chen Tian, would personally teach everyone a C-rank martial art called Thunder Fist. Hearing that name, the boy instantly remembered White Fox, because that same technique had crushed him before with only 3 thunder sounds. Thunder Fist was famous because beginner level produced 1 echo, proficient gave 3, subtle gave 5, mastery gave 7, and perfection created the legendary 9 echoes. While Master Chen Tian demonstrated it, strong wind and thunder rolled through the air, but after hours of practice, almost everyone failed to even enter the beginner level. Only the school genius Chen Shan barely managed 1 echo, yet even that was still disappointing to the master. Then just as the principal and Master Chen Tian were leaving, they suddenly heard 7 thunderous sounds. Master Chen Tian instantly recognized it as a high-level Thunder Fist, and when they looked over, the boy was standing alone practicing. He took a deep breath and punched again, and this time 9 thunder echoes exploded into the air, shaking everything around him. Even Master Chen Tian, who had only ever reached 7, was so shocked that he instinctively punched 2 and accidentally broke through to 8 echoes himself. The 2 men rushed forward to find the hidden genius, but by the time they reached the place, the boy had already gone. He was already on his way to Thunder Hall, planning to earn more points and become a true hunter as fast as possible, and the moment he entered, he saw an arrogant man bullying the students there. At Thunder Hall, that arrogant student kept cursing at the weaker trainees, saying that if their talent was so poor, they should stop embarrassing themselves in public, because in his eyes, they were nothing but trash. After asking around, I learned that the new instructor at the hall was very strong, but but he looked down badly on students from ordinary families, and his disciple Li Yan was even worse, using his little bit of strength as an excuse to bully others for fun. Just as Li Yan raised his fist to hit someone again, I stepped forward and grabbed his wrist with perfect timing. Feeling that cold grip, he suddenly turned back, his eyes full of anger, and said that since another fool wanted to act brave, we might as well settle it one-on-one on the stage. But right when things were about to explode, Instructor Jiang Ming suddenly appeared, frowning as he ordered everyone to gather for class. This new instructor's specialty was a martial skill called Furious Sea Spear technique, but he was extremely stingy, and every time he taught a move, he only demonstrated it once because he was afraid we common students might secretly learn the real thing. After showing the spear technique, Jiang Ming turned around and left the practice ground right away, never imagining that this time he had run into someone like me. After watching it only once, I used the martial saint system to see through the true core of the technique, and when I lifted the spear and moved, I copied the entire set perfectly, every action almost exactly the same as the instructors. In my mind, I understood that the heart of this spear art was to strike like a dragon bursting from the sea, one wave after another without end. At that moment, Li Yan came back and saw everything. His eyes darkened as he realized I really might have learned the technique, so he decided this was the perfect chance to test how deep my skill really was. If I truly was some gifted genius, then this would get interesting. Thinking that, he picked up a spear and slowly walked over, saying that he would give me a little guidance with my spear technique. I smiled and agreed at once. Seeing that, Li Yan immediately used the subtle level Furious Sea Spear technique, and in the next moment the spear tip shot toward me with sharp force. But what he never expected was that I had already raised this same technique to the proficient level. With one loud clash, the spear in his hands was knocked straight to the ground by me, and at the same time the system voice rang out, saying that because I had defeated someone above my level, my martial points had increased by 35. Li Yan stood there frozen, his face full of disbelief. He had just been beaten in public by someone who had not even become a real hunter yet. And worse, he had lost using the very move he was proudest of. For a moment, it was as if all his years of effort had turned into a joke. Rage rushed to his head, and without thinking, he swung his fist at me. But just before it could land, a cold voice rang out. Instructor Jiang Ming had appeared at some point and slapped Li Yan across the face. He scolded him, saying that if he could not even face defeat, then he had no right to call himself a hunter. But inside, even Jiang Ming was deeply shaken, because after seeing someone watch Furious Sea Spear technique only once and then train it to the proficient level by pure talent, even the so-called young geniuses of the big cities would not be this outrageous. After leaving Thunder Hall, I began planning in my heart. Since I had already mastered the spear art well, the next thing I needed was a good spear that truly fit my hand, but the alloy weapons sold on the market were shockingly expensive. On top of that, the important school exam was only a few days away. Just then, a report came on the television by the roadside saying that fierce beasts were flooding the wildlands outside Xing City, and the city lord was calling hunters to help kill them. The reward for killing an unranked beast was 300 blue star coins. An early first rank beast was worth 1,000, a mid first rank beast was worth 3,000, and a late first rank beast could bring 5,000. And as long as the hunter cut off the beast's left ear as proof, the money could be collected at the hunter base. The moment I heard that, I felt like this chance had been prepared exactly for me. That night, just to be safe, I poured all the martial points I had just gained into my vitality. In the end, my vitality reached 95.2, only one step away from the hunter realm. During the next 2.5 days, I trained day and night without rest, and finally pushed every combat skill I knew into the perfect realm. Once everything was ready, I headed straight for the hunter base of Xing City. The moment I entered, I saw powerful hunters everywhere, each one carrying a heavy and dangerous presence. Then a burst of noise came from behind me. A small team was walking in around a young man, and someone loudly told the crowd to move aside. The one at the center, called Ye Xiao, carried himself with such arrogant energy that he instantly reminded me of White Fox from the underground arena. Still, I had no interest in such nonsense, so after preparing everything, I entered the wild beast zone alone. But after searching the outer area for 2.5 hours, I had not found even one beast. It seemed the creatures near the forest edge had already been hunted clean, so if I wanted real results, I had no choice but to take the risk and go deeper into the forest. Not long after entering the deeper area, I heard movement ahead. Looking carefully, I saw an early first-rank nether white wolf. It bared its sharp fangs and rushed straight at my face with a fierce blast of spiritual force, but I shifted my body and dodged easily, then caught the moment its old strength had passed and its new force had not yet formed, and drove a heavy thunder fist into its stomach. With one dull impact, the wolf was blasted several meters away. After landing, it twitched a few times and died. Right after that, I pressed forward and killed another beast, a mid-first rank furious black bear, and the martial points from those fights were finally enough to let me challenge the true hunter realm. Just as I bent down to cut off the black bear's left ear as proof, a terrifying roar suddenly exploded from somewhere in the distance. Driven by curiosity, I ran toward the sound, but when I got there, my pupils shrank.